What happens when a hip-hop legend known for ending careers suddenly finds himself in a public confrontation with a 21-year-old who refuses to back down? That is exactly what the internet witnessed when new footage involving King Harris and 50 Cent started spreading across social media. Within hours, the clip was everywhere: Instagram, TikTok, X, and YouTube. Millions of people were watching, arguing, and asking the same question: how did things escalate this far? At the center of it all is a feud that began between two rap veterans, T.Y. and 50 Cent. What was originally supposed to be a friendly showdown on the popular battle platform, Verzuz, somehow spiraled into one of the most chaotic rap conflicts in recent years. Diss tracks dropped, memes flooded social media, family members got pulled into the drama, and suddenly, this wasn't just a rap battle anymore. It was personal. Then came the moment that pushed everything to another level. A bold post from 50 Cent declaring "I am the algorithm" sparked an immediate reaction from King Harris, and the response that followed turned a long-running online feud into a viral confrontation the entire hip-hop community is now watching unfold. The story behind the viral confrontation between King Harris and 50 Cent didn't start with a camera rolling or a clip spreading across social media. It actually began weeks earlier with something that was supposed to celebrate hip-hop culture rather than divide it. What should have been a moment of nostalgia and respect between two rap legends somehow turned into one of the most talked-about conflicts in the industry. At the center of the situation was T.I., a rapper who has spent decades building a legacy in the music industry. Known as one of the pioneers of trap music, T.I. has always been vocal about his accomplishments and his place in hip-hop history. On the other side was 50 Cent, another artist whose influence stretches far beyond music into television, film, and business. Both artists came up in the same era, and both have catalogs that define the early 2000s. So when the possibility of a showdown between them came up, fans immediately paid attention. The original idea centered around a battle on the platform known as Verzuz. Verzuz became famous for bringing legendary artists together to play their biggest songs side by side while fans watched online. It wasn't meant to be hostile. Instead, it was designed as a celebration of music and influence. Over the years, some of the biggest names in R&B and hip-hop had participated, and the events regularly pulled in massive audiences. According to T.I., conversations about a potential Verzuz battle between him and 50 Cent had been happening privately for a long time. The idea seemed simple. Two artists with huge catalogs would stand on stage and let their music speak for itself. It would be competitive, but it would also be respectful. For fans of early 2000s rap, it would have been a huge moment. T.I. later explained during an appearance on the podcast $1 Million Worth of Game that he and 50 Cent had already discussed how the announcement would play out publicly. The plan was strategic. T.I. would be the one to publicly challenge 50 Cent first. Then 50 would respond, creating excitement online and building anticipation for the event. In the world of hip-hop promotion, that kind of back and forth is a common way to get fans talking. But when T.I. finally made the call out publicly, things didn't go the way he expected. Instead of responding in the playful, competitive way they had discussed, 50 Cent appeared to act confused about the entire situation. On social media, he reacted as if he had no idea what T.I. was talking about. To the public, it looked like the proposal had come out of nowhere. For T.I., that moment was embarrassing. From his perspective, the conversation had already happened behind the scenes. So when 50 Cent publicly pretended not to know about it, the situation suddenly looked very different. Instead of a planned promotional exchange, it now seemed like T.I. was chasing a battle that 50 didn't want. That misunderstanding changed the tone of everything. I didn't hide his frustration when speaking about it later. In interviews, he explained that he felt the situation could have been handled much more simply. If 50 Cent wasn't interested in doing the battle anymore, he could have said that privately. Instead, the public response made it appear as though T.I. had made the entire idea up. From that point on, the energy between the two artists shifted. What had originally been a conversation about celebrating their music started turning into something personal. Rather than addressing the issue through music immediately, 50 Cent responded in the way he has become famous for over the years. Instead of dropping a diss track right away, he began using social media as his main weapon. Anyone familiar with 50 Cent's online presence knows that trolling is one of his favorite strategies. Over the years, he has used Instagram and other platforms to mock rivals, post memes, and stir up controversy that keeps people talking. This situation was no different. Not long after the Versus discussion collapsed, 50 Cent began posting content aimed at T.I. The posts included jokes, memes, and references to past controversies. For many fans, it looked like classic 50 Cent behavior. He wasn't trying to end the conflict quickly. Instead, he was stretching it out and letting the internet react. But then the posts started to shift in a direction that would eventually pull the entire Harris family into the situation. At one point, 50 Cent posted an image of T.Y.'s wife, Tiny Harris, in a way that many fans interpreted as disrespectful. The post quickly spread online and immediately sparked strong reactions. In hip-hop culture, disagreements between artists are common. Diss tracks, insults, and competition are all part of the tradition. But bringing family members into the conversation often changes the dynamic. Once that line is crossed, the situation usually escalates. For T.I., the comments about his wife added another layer to the conflict. The disagreement was no longer just about a failed Versus battle or online trolling. Now it involved personal disrespect towards someone in his family. That shift made it harder to ignore. Still, T.I. initially chose to respond in a way that fit hip-hop tradition. Instead of turning the situation into a public argument online, he went back to what many rappers believe is the most effective way to settle disputes: music. One by one, he began releasing diss records aimed at 50 Cent. Each song carried a clear message that he was ready to defend his reputation and his place in hip-hop history. The tracks circulated quickly online, with fans debating the lyrics and analyzing every line for hidden meanings and references. While T.I. was handling things through music, the online conversation continued to grow. Every new post from 50 Cent created more headlines and more reactions. The internet thrives on moments like this, and the conflict between the two artists was becoming one of the biggest topics in hip-hop. But the biggest turning point had not happened yet. Up to this point, the feud was still mainly between two established rappers with decades of history in the industry. Fans had seen situations like this before. Rap beefs between legends were nothing new. What made this situation different was what happened next. As the jokes, memes, and diss tracks continued circulating online, another member of the Harris family began paying attention to the conversation. Someone much younger. Someone who had grown up watching his father's career from the inside. That person was King Harris. At just 21 years old, King Harris had already been trying to build his own identity in music and entertainment. But until this moment, he had mostly existed in the public eye as the son of T.Y. and Tiny. That was about to change. Because when the posts about his mother started spreading across social media, King Harris decided he wasn't going to stay quiet. And once he stepped into the situation, the entire story took a completely different direction. When King Harris first decided to respond to the situation, few people expected the reaction to be as intense as it became. Up until that moment, the conflict had mainly been between two established rap figures, T.I. and 50 Cent. Fans were used to seeing artists from the same era exchange words or release diss tracks. But when a younger family member suddenly entered the conversation, the tone shifted immediately. King Harris had been watching the situation unfold online like everyone else. The memes, the jokes, and especially the posts involving his mother, Tiny Harris, were circulating across social media. In hip-hop culture, defending family has always been taken seriously, and for King, the situation felt personal. Instead of quietly ignoring the posts, he decided to address the issue directly. He recorded a selfie-style video and posted it online. In the clip, he spoke directly about the comments and images that had been shared about his mother. The tone was emotional and confrontational at the same time. Within hours, the video started spreading across platforms like X, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. The response from the internet was immediate. Some viewers supported him, saying any son would stand up for his mother in that situation. Others felt the response went too far. In the middle of the video, King referenced the late mother of 50 Cent, Sabrina Jackson. She had passed away when 50 was a child, and bringing her name into the conversation instantly made the moment controversial. In hip-hop, there are certain lines that many people believe shouldn't be crossed, and mentioning deceased family members is often considered one of them. The moment that part of the video circulated online, debates exploded everywhere. Some people argued that 50 had started the disrespect by posting about Tiny Harris. Others believed King Harris escalated the situation by referencing something deeply personal from 50 Cent's past. Regardless of which side people agreed with, one thing was clear. King Harris had suddenly become one of the central figures in the feud. The video gained millions of views within hours. Clips were reposted by blogs, reaction channels, and hip-hop media pages. Comment sections filled with arguments as fans debated who was right and who had crossed the line. But King Harris didn't stop with just the video. Shortly after the clip went viral, he made another move that guaranteed the conversation would keep growing. He appeared publicly wearing a shirt that featured an image of 50 Cent's late mother. The image spread across social media almost instantly. For many people watching the situation unfold, it felt like the conflict had moved far beyond the typical back and forth of rap beef. The moment became one of the most talked about images connected to the feud. To some viewers, it looked like a young man fiercely defending his family after seeing his mother mocked online. To others, it looked like a dangerous escalation involving subjects that most people consider off-limits. While the internet argued about the situation, King Harris continued pushing forward with his response. Instead of limiting his reaction to social media videos, he decided to bring the conflict into music as well. Soon after the viral moment, he released a diss track aimed at 50 Cent. The song began circulating online almost immediately. Fans began analyzing the lyrics, looking for direct references and hidden jabs. The release marked an important shift in the story. What had started as a father's disagreement with another rapper had now become a generational conflict. A 21-year-old artist was now publicly challenging one of the most recognizable figures in hip-hop history. At the same time, King Harris wasn't the only member of the Harris family responding to the situation. His brother, Domani Harris, also entered the conversation. Domani released his own track addressing the feud, adding another voice to the family's side of the story. What made this moment even more surprising was the fact that the brothers later revealed they had not consulted their father before responding. They explained that their reactions came from seeing the situation unfold online and feeling that they needed to defend their mother immediately. That detail changed how some fans viewed the entire situation. It suggested that the younger members of the family were acting on instinct rather than following a coordinated plan. Meanwhile, as the younger Harris family members were releasing music and posting online, T.I. himself was navigating the situation carefully. In interviews, he acknowledged that he understood why his sons felt the need to respond. At the same time, he also admitted that some of the reactions had gone further than he would have preferred. During one conversation with radio hosts, T.I. explained that he had spent years trying to teach his sons to approach situations logically rather than emotionally. Seeing them jump directly into such a public conflict created mixed feelings for him. On one hand, he appreciated their loyalty and willingness to defend their mother. On the other hand, he knew how quickly situations like this could spiral out of control. His comments revealed the complicated position he was in as both a father and a public figure. While all of this was unfolding, the internet continued doing what it does best, turning every moment into content. Reaction videos appeared across YouTube. Podcast hosts debated the situation for hours. Social media users created memes and commentary threads, analyzing every move made by both sides. The situation had officially grown beyond a simple rap disagreement. It had become a full cultural moment. Through all of this, 50 Cent remained relatively quiet in terms of directly addressing King Harris by name. Instead of jumping into a direct back and forth with the younger rapper, he continued focusing on his usual strategy, controlling the conversation through social media and entertainment projects. Over the years, 50 Cent has built a reputation not just as a rapper, but as a businessman and media producer. His television projects, including shows connected to the Power universe, have made him one of the most influential figures in hip-hop entertainment. Rather than responding to every diss or video aimed at him, he often allows the conversation itself to generate attention. In many ways, controversy becomes part of the promotional engine that keeps his name trending online. As the Harris family continued addressing the situation through music and social media, 50 Cent began hinting at moves that suggested the conflict might expand into something even bigger. He posted messages referencing potential documentary projects and other media ideas that could involve topics connected to T.I. and Tiny Harris. Those hints immediately caught people's attention. Fans who had followed 50 Cent's previous projects knew that he had already produced documentaries and television series that explored controversial stories within the entertainment world. If he decided to focus that kind of attention on the Harris family, the feud could shift from rap music into a completely different arena. At that point, the conflict had evolved into something much larger than anyone expected when the original Versus conversation first began. The tension between two rappers had now pulled in family members, viral social media moments, diss tracks from a younger generation, and the possibility of major media projects built around the drama. And just when it seemed like the situation couldn't get any more intense, another moment arrived that pushed the entire story back into the spotlight. It started with a new post from 50 Cent, a short caption that would quickly spread across the internet. "I am the algorithm." That single phrase, paired with new music, would trigger the next chapter of the conflict and lead directly to the viral confrontation everyone would soon be talking about. The release of 50 Cent's post, with the caption, "I am the algorithm," was the spark that reignited the feud and brought King Harris fully into the spotlight. The post came alongside a new collaboration featuring Max B, titled "No More Tricks, No More Tries." While the track had a smooth, soulful production, the message behind the lyrics carried the tension of years of unresolved conflict. Many fans believed that the words were directed at longtime critics and possibly at T.I. himself. But for King Harris, the caption alone was a provocation he couldn't ignore. Almost immediately, King Harris took to social media to respond. He recorded a video addressing 50 Cent directly, responding not just to the music, but to the tone, the caption, and the months of trolling that had preceded it. In the video, King spoke with a mix of anger, confidence, and determination. He made it clear that he would not let his family's name be disrespected, especially his mother's. Within hours, the footage went viral. Clips were shared across X, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Comment sections exploded with debates over who was right, who had crossed the line, and whether a 21-year-old taking on one of rap's legends was brave or reckless. The confrontation was significant not only because of the words exchanged, but also because it represented an intergenerational clash. Here was a young man, barely 21, standing up to a figure who had dominated the hip-hop industry for over 2 decades. That contrast created a narrative that drew in audiences beyond just rap fans. People wanted to witness history being made, a new generation challenging an established icon. Meanwhile, 50 Cent maintained his strategy. He did not respond directly to King Harris with a track or public appearance. Instead, he continued focusing on his music, business ventures, and social media presence. This approach allowed him to control the narrative, keeping attention on his own terms while letting the younger Harris take the emotional risk of confrontation. For 50, this was a calculated move. He understood that engagement isn't always necessary. Sometimes, letting others make the first move amplifies their visibility while reinforcing his own dominance. King Harris, however, continued to push the conflict forward. He released the diss track Drop Top shortly after the viral video. In it, he made direct references to 50 Cent, challenging both his legacy and his reputation. The lyrics were pointed and deliberate, leaving no ambiguity about who the target was. By doing this, King Harris effectively transformed the feud from a family defense into a career-defining moment for himself. Suddenly, he was no longer just T.I.'s son. He was a young artist commanding attention in a high-stakes public battle. The involvement of King's brother, Damani Harris, further escalated the situation. Damani released his own track targeting 50 Cent, adding another layer to the family's defense. The brothers later revealed that they had acted independently of T.I., motivated by the need to defend their mother after seeing her being disrespected online. This revelation highlighted a key aspect of the feud. The younger generation of the Harris family was acting instinctively, using social media and music as their tools, while T.I. watched carefully from the sidelines. T.I.'s position was delicate. In interviews, he acknowledged that he appreciated his son's loyalty and willingness to protect their family. At the same time, he expressed concern over the methods they used and the boundaries they crossed. Wearing a t-shirt with an image of 50 Cent's late mother, for example, was a provocative act that sparked debate over respect and line crossing in hip-hop culture. T had always emphasized logic, respect, and measured responses, and seeing his children step into such a high-profile feud created a mixture of pride and unease. The internet, of course, loved it. Clips of the confrontation, King Harris's diss tracks, and images of provocative t-shirts went viral immediately. Memes, reaction videos, and commentary flooded social media platforms. Fans analyzed every word, gesture, and lyric, turning the feud into a cultural spectacle. What might have been a private family response became a story that engaged millions worldwide. At the same time, 50 Cent leveraged his own approach. Alongside new music, he dropped hints about a documentary that could potentially involve T.I. and Tiny Harris. This tactic reminded everyone of the 50s media influence and the power of his platform beyond music. By combining entertainment, music, and controversy, 50 Cent ensured that the feud remained in public discourse, even if he wasn't responding directly to King Harris. One of the reasons this particular confrontation captured so much attention is the combination of personal stakes and generational conflict. Fans saw a 21-year-old navigating public scrutiny, defending his family, and simultaneously trying to build his own reputation. They also witnessed one of hip-hop's most seasoned figures remaining calm, using strategy rather than impulsive retaliation. That contrast created drama, discussion, and endless engagement online. As the saga continues, there is no clear resolution in sight. King Harris has proven that he can stand his ground in the face of a legendary opponent. 50 Cent has shown that experience, strategy, and control over narrative remain as powerful as ever. The feud now exists at the intersection of family loyalty, music promotion, and social media spectacle, a formula that guarantees continued attention from both hip-hop fans and casual observers alike. For now, audiences can expect more content. King Harris has made it clear that he is willing to continue defending his family and building his own name. 50 Cent will continue setting his own terms, whether through new music, media projects, or strategic social media posts. I will watch, guide when necessary, and focus on his career. But the actions of the younger generation have already reshaped the narrative. The confrontation over "I am the algorithm" has become more than a viral moment. It has become a case study in modern hip-hop dynamics, how legacy, family, youth, social media, and business intersect. It shows the power of generational clashes and demonstrates that in today's music world, feuds are not just battles of lyrics, they are battles for attention, narrative, and influence. As the story continues to unfold, one thing is certain. King Harris has ensured that his presence in this feud is impossible to ignore. The viral footage, the diss tracks, and his public statements have cemented his role in a saga that will be remembered as one of the most intense and multifaceted conflicts in hip-hop culture in 2026. If you've been following this feud, you know it's far from over. The confrontation between King Harris and 50 Cent has shown us that hip-hop today is about more than music. It's about family, legacy, and making your voice heard, no matter your age. And while the drama continues to unfold online, it's also a reminder of how quickly moments can go viral, how one post or one video can spark a cultural conversation, and how the next generation of artists is stepping up to make their mark. So make sure you're staying tuned, because every new track, every social media post, and every interview could be the next chapter in this epic story. Don't miss a moment of it. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join the discussion in the comments. Share your thoughts on who you think is in the right, who crossed the line, and where you see this feud going next. This is more than music drama. It's modern hip-hop history in the making. Stay connected, stay engaged, and keep watching as the story between 50 Cent, T.I., King Harris, and the Harris family continues to unfold. You won't want to miss what happens next.